Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're out in the greenhouse again today, and I've just got one real quick job to do today. I was just about to do it and I thought I'll show you lot what I'm up to. So these are elephant garlic corms. Now these they're not cloves, they're corms. So essentially when the elephant garlic grows, if you planted a clove, it would grow and split into 6 separate cloves. I think it's 6 with elephant garlic, around about that number. And then what would happen if you left that in the ground? It would produce these little corms, and this is how it spreads along the ground. So if you collect these little corms that grow around the bulb, you can actually plant these. Now the only problem with planting elephant garlic using these corms is that it takes basically 2 growing seasons for it to develop and split into cloves. But that's not really a problem for me. And these are a hell of a lot cheaper than buying an elephant garlic bulb or the separate cloves. You're talking a good £1, maybe even £2 each for the elephant garlic cloves. Whereas the corms, I managed to get 30. There's actually 33 in here. I did count them. And I managed to pick these up for £7, so that works out a lot cheaper. So that's the only reason I bought these. So what I thought I'd do is, my growing area outside is not quite ready yet, so I'm going to start these in these little pots. These basically modules. So I've got 40 here, and I've only got 33 cloves, so I have some spare, so I'll be able to put something else in there as well. So I thought I'd just show you how I do it, and hopefully you'll find this interesting, and I'll keep you updated on these when they sprout. So I'm just going to stick one corm in each pot. So I'll talk you through what compost I'm going to be using and stuff. So I'll get back to you in a sec, guys, and we'll make a start. Okay, so the compost I'm going to be using is Manor Farm multi-purpose compost. I found this is pretty good, and it's 3 bags for a tenner. So that's pretty good compost there. It's got some big woody bits in it sometimes, but most of the time it's pretty good quality, and I find this pretty much perfect for most things. So I will be sieving it. I've got sieve up here, so I'm going to sieve it out just to get rid of some of the bigger clumps, just because it can be a bit of a pain trying to get it in the modules if there's big bits in the way. You don't have to sieve your compost, it's completely unnecessary. The bits of wood and stuff are not going to hurt anything. But what I am going to do is mix in a little bit of sand. So this is just sharp sand, just bog standard sharp sand that you get from the shops. This has been outside for about a year, so it's been rinsed through multiple times. But if you do get some new sharp sand, just give it a rinse through with some water, just in case it's collected from the beach, and it may have quite a high salt content. So just give it a rinse before you use it for planting anything. So that's my growing mix I'm going to be using for these. Okay, so this is the mixed soil compost mixed in with the sand, all ready to go in the little pots. I gave up sieving it in the end and just going through my hand and picking out bits. I started using this pot because it's got bigger holes, so you can use a pot like this. It makes a good sieve. But the compost was a bit wet, so it wasn't really working too well. So I kind of gave up and just took any big bits out with my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to fill up these pots one at a time. Probably be easier to just chuck it on, but I don't want to make too much of this. So I'm just going to do one pot at a time. Gently press it down. Fill up to the top, gently press it down. I don't want to compact it in there, but I don't want it too loose that there's any air in there. So get the rest of these done, guys, and then we'll make a start on planting our elephant garlic corms. Okay, so just filled up the last pot. There we go, 33 pots full of compost. So now what I'm going to do, get my finger, go into about an inch, about up to my first knuckle, and just make a hole for each of the corms in each of the pots. Okay, so that's the last hole made. So now I'm going to take my corms, place one in each pot. So there's a corm. This pointy bit here is the top. The flatter bit is the bottom. Now, people will say, make sure you plant them root down. So that'll be where the root comes out. Make sure you do it this way, make sure you do it that way. In reality, it doesn't matter too much, because as soon as it gets some roots, it will turn itself around and it will come out, regardless of whether it's upside down or not. But generally I'll try to make sure I plant them the right way around, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. So I'll just put one in each of these pots. Okay, so that's the last ones going in there. And I miscounted by 2, so I've actually got 35. Don't know how that happened. So I'll just get a couple more pots filled up with compost. So that's good. That means I've got 5 extra than what I paid for. So I can't grumble on that. Obviously, they probably do that because chances are they won't get 100% success with them. So that's all them in there. So we've got 35 elephant garlic corms all planted up into this module tray. So now what I'm going to do is cover them all over. Just push the compost down the hole, and if any of them are looking a bit low, you can add a little bit more compost, a bit more soil. Okay, so that's the last one there. I'm just adding a little bit of compost to each one just to make sure it's topped up. And I did end up with 34 because apparently I missed one around about there somewhere. Don't know how I managed that, but that's because I'm too busy trying to concentrate on the video. But anyway, so that's them planted. Now, I'm not going to water these because this compost's really damp. But if your compost is bone dry, give them a little water. Don't overdo it because the garlic doesn't need too much water. In fact, they will sprout even if they're not planted. They start sprouting in the kitchen. So as long as they can get their roots in, they will sprout. They don't need to be wet because that might make them go mouldy. So just damp and keep them damp, but don't worry too much if they do dry out a bit. So that's them planted. I'm going to keep that with them just so I know what they are. I might just fold that up and put that in one of these pots that are spare for now, because I will forget what they are, and I'll come out here and I'll be like, I can't remember what I put in there. So I do it all the time and then end up having to tip one out and find out what's in it. They're elephant garlic corms, the labels are there. The compost's nice and damp, so they're ready to go. So I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse somewhere. I'll just put them on one of the racks over there. Okay, everyone. So that's them planted. I've put them on that rack for now. I'll leave them in the greenhouse, and hopefully they should sprout within the next couple of weeks. So that's the first thing I've planted this year. So I'm getting excited now about the growing season coming up. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you could subscribe if you haven't done so yet, if you enjoyed the video. And if you've got any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below. and give the video the thumbs up. Anyway, guys, see you on the next one. Have a great week.